Hey, what's up everyone? It's Dustmos, and today I'm here to talk about the TX-6 from Teenage Engineering. In this two-part Signal Colors episode, I'm taking a look at the TX-6 from Teenage Engineering, the ultra-portable, ultra-capable, multifaceted little mini mixer that really does a ton. In today's video, I'm taking a look at what the TX-6 does from an effects standpoint, which is pretty appropriate for this channel, seeing as that's kind of what we do around here. But I thought it'd be cool to split this video up into two because straight up, just using this as an effects device, there's actually a ton of really cool stuff you can do with it that I feel like isn't as explored as much, and I thought it would be the perfect thing to take a look at on my channel. In part two, I'm going to focus on the TX-6 as a mixer, and so focus more on kind of what the main function of the device is, and I'll go over how to set up like an aux send and using it with external devices, hooking up, every channel and just really going to town with the thing. And I'll cover more about just like the general mixer features and recorder features. So if you're interested in that one, come back for that video. Today we're going to be just talking about the effects. Okay, so first up, there are two parts to how effects work on the TX-6. The first being this FX1 and FX2. FX1 is the send effect, and FX2 is the insert effect. On FX1, you can send little bits of every track into that effect and then have that return back at a volume that you determine. In FX2, you can either send the entire mix through it or an individual track, but not a few tracks. You couldn't use like 2 and 4 just sending through that. You'd have to be either all or one. Now that being said, on every channel there is a 3-band EQ, there's a compressor, and there's also a filter individually. So what's kind of cool about that is, say like on one of the insert effects is a filter, and you don't have to waste that if you just want to set a filter level. You can do that independently on each track. So with a little bit of that housekeeping stuff out of the way, I'm going to jump right into send effects. So as I mentioned, the send effect is all on FX1. So when you select that, when you press the button, it actually just turns it on, turns it off. So you see that 1 pop up on the display and go away. Same with FX2, but you can see that's momentary. So on FX1, that's on, that's off. But if you hold Shift and the FX button, it takes you into the send effects menu. So here, if you want to switch the type of effect, you just continue to hold down Shift and hit the FX1 button. So you go from reverbs to chorus, to delay effects, to reverb, and there you go. Those are the main types of effects on the send. But within those, you've got different sort of layers. So you can see this one is like 1/8 beat. You can change it to a quarter, half, 2/3, 3/4, every one. And then you switch to kind of some off tempo stuff, 3/2. But then you've got some cool modes. This one is warp, and then this one is mash. So we'll kind of go through those. The first grouping, are pretty straightforward. It's just sort of like the timing of the delays. But then warp and mash are pretty fun. So yeah, we'll start there. And whatever you have on the screen is what that current effect is set to. So if you hit Shift, back out of it again. But if you hit Shift and the effect, you're back in the delay menu again, you're back out. So you can go perform all your other mixer functions. You could also do that, but then if you go to change something, like other things will still happen. It just won't show it on the screen because you're kind of in that menu. So that's just sort of how that works. So I currently have the digitone set on the first stereo channel, and then on the second channel I have it set to a mono channel, and that's the TR-606 coming in for drums. So I'm actually going to turn off the 606 or just move the fader down, and let's see, this is all the way down, and so these I actually have set as my my send levels. So right away, if I play my digitone pattern, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and trim this down a little bit. We'll just play that layer of it, and you don't hear anything even when I turn on the effect. No change, but that's because the send isn't receiving anything. So I turn up the send amount, and you hear that really fast delay, which probably isn't super useful here, but that's where we're going to start. So you can switch the style or the timing here. And again, you can kind of fade it in and out by just adjusting the send. We'll turn on some more tracks. And again, just changing up the timing there. I'm bringing the drums. And as we're here, well, the delay is still continuing, even though I faded out, but you can hear there's no delay on the drums because I have the send turned down. So it's cool if you have multiple synths coming in or different things that you want to, use that effect on, send it to, you can not have it apply to the drums where it's going to get all sloppy on you. So bring it back on the, we'll leave that where that is. Bring in the volume of this. So again, just more timings, 3/4. Every one, a little more dramatic. And you back the send out. And it fades away nicely. Bring it back in. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure most of you are familiar with how send effects work on, mixers and things, but just want to demo that here. All right, so I'll go into the next one here. 3/2, but then warp. Warp is really cool. So here it's kind of like almost like a tremolo reverb or vibrato reverb or something. I don't know, it's pretty cool though. Okay, I'll actually see if I can meet that. I'm gonna really up the send. Pretty cool, pretty dreamy. But actually, what I'm going to do now, take it off the synth, add it to the 606. But that's because I'm going to switch it to mash, which I think sounds super cool on drums. And it's cool, you can kind of turn it, oops, switch the effect type. Once we out of that mode, I wanted to turn it off. You can just bring it in for little hits, which is kind of cool. So actually take it off the drums, add it back to the synths. Actually sounds better on synths now that I hear it. Really add some atmosphere. It's really cool. It's kind of like a ping pong, with almost like definitely some reverb characteristics. Really nice. So I'm going to switch effect types here. Now to reverb. So again, the send you can see here is just up on the synth stuff. It's on a light one now. So here it's kind of just like a gentle reverb. So no reverb. And reverb brought in. It's just the slightest bit of room sound on synths. You hear a little bit more pronounced on drums. But it's nice. Makes it feel a little bit more natural, a little less stale, a little less digital, coming from the Digitone. But the different modes, so we'll switch it into small. Pretty cool, a little bit of that talkback mic style, tight reverb, some of that Phil Collins action. So here I just have it on the drums. Just the next one. Just medium. Large. And again, just on the drums. I'll kill it on the drums. Bring it on the synth. And the next mode, which is drone, which is really cool. You hear it latches. That's really nice. Again, this one would be good kind of as like a, I guess you could kind of punch it in if you wanted to. Kind of interesting. Add it to the drums. A little bit more for it to latch onto. Maybe not as nice sounding though. Okay, I'll switch to the next effect type. So you've got this chorus. To the synth sound. So right now it's on subtle. Let's bypass it. Re-engaged. Yeah. Here it kind of widen the stereo field a little bit. Have that subtle modulation. But you can change the intensity, so it goes from subtle to medium. Let's try it on the drums. Pretty cool. We'll go from medium to strong, which is really intense. Back out the send. And bring it back in. Let's hear it just on the drums. Pretty cool. A little of both. All right, we'll go to the next effect bank. And we're back into delays. And what's cool is you can see you can cycle through them. You can probably use that as an effect as well. I don't know. Mash is so cool though. And there we go. Those are the send effects on the TX-6. Now let's try out the insert effects. Okay, so for the insert effects, I'm going to go out and turn off the first effect, or FX1, so you can see the 1 there, or the 2. It shows up when you press that, but leave that off because we're just focusing on the insert effects. So to bring those up, same deal. You hold down Shift and then tap FX2, and you can cycle through the different types. You've got a freeze, you've got a tape stop, a filtering effect, a sort of like a bit crusher, digital kind of wildness effect, a distortion / drive, and a tremolo, and then back to freeze. Freeze is super cool. Freeze is one that I feel like you see on a lot of the Teenage Engineering stuff. Really fun effect. So let's check it out. This is the pattern unaffected. So right now, freeze is just set on this one. So if you see first track, first channel, if you hit it, that one being lit just means it's only affecting that one channel. Hit it again and they all light up, and that means the insert will impact all of these. So again, choose a channel that'll be inserted on just that channel, or hit it again and it'll make it across the whole mix. So we'll hear what freeze sounds like. Which is super cool. And it's cool because obviously it's going to keep playing in the background, so you'll never lose time or anything. Kind of punch this in. Yeah, and depending on what you catch, you can really get some cool stuff happening. Really, really fun. But what's kind of next level is you can, you see this little like plus and minus. If you freeze it and then turn the dial, you can actually pitch it up or down, so you can do some really crazy moves. You can see the little head stays in the position you leave it in between the plus and minus. And it's handy, the plus or the minus lights up to let you know that you're to one side or the other. But you can do some really crazy glitch out stuff. And what's cool too is if you don't want to have to try to like reset it and dial it in, you can actually just tap that middle top button here and it'll return. Which is just super fun and really cool. I feel like a way I would use this is actually run like a track of something that I'm working on through it. Maybe even just like one sound. Let's see. We'll just have this one sound. And then if you're recording on this or out to your DAW or whatever, you can just freeze and you can just tack those in as maybe like weird little glitch samples that match the material of just that one layer of what you're working on, which is really cool. And you can use these in conjunction with the send effects, of course. So I can turn that on. This is probably not the best one to show for that. So you hear the delay happening. So you can see we're still freezing while mash is happening as well, which is really awesome. Okay, the next insert effect is tape stop. You see it's set to stop 1. I believe that's the first one, yeah. So you hit that. And you can do little dips. Or shut the whole thing down if you want. Which is really cool. And there's different modes, so you can go from stop style 1 to stop 2. Much more abrupt. Almost like a tape getting jammed. Instead of like a reel-to-reel slowing down, it's more like a cassette just being like, which is pretty cool. And again, you can choose just one of the channels if you want. You don't have to do the whole thing. So here, I just have it impacting the synths. And it's cool because the delay is still on from the send. You hear it delay out once the tape stop happens. And it catches all of its movement as well and delays that. So here, so you can see if I turn it off, obviously there's no delay. So you can see combining these, you can really get up to some really fun shenanigans. All right. And there's this Pong style one, which is cool. I'll just do it. I won't explain it. Actually, the little graphic explains it even better than I can. But I'll do my best. It just grabs a piece and... yeah, I'm not even describing it very well. If at all. It's sort of just like a little mini loop kind of thing. But also super fun. Give it something a little bit more aggressive to chew on. And so even there, you could get something like this, and maybe you want to use this as a bed for something else. So then record this without the drums, and you've got this that could just be something that you bring in as an additional layer in your production. Really cool. That's the last tape mode. So now we've got a filter. You can actually punch in and it'll stay on. It's not a momentary effect. Which that is illustrated here. So you see the 2 stays on instead of fading out like the other effects do. But we'll go in. So you can see you can change the cutoff and the resonance. I'll apply it to everything so we get like kind of a master filter effect. Here we give it, again, a little bit more to chew on here. There's no resonance right now, so if you click this, you see the little white head jumped over to the resonance knob. So we can turn that up. Switch back to the cutoff. Let's get more resonance. So you can see if you want to just dip everything. Handy, you know, just preset the filter and you can just have everything kind of duck a little bit. That resonance is kind of boosting the frequency over here, but that's cool. Bring the resonance down a little bit. Cut off. Down a little bit more. Pretty cool. Okay. So now let me get that's a little bit more manageable here. I'm actually going to turn off all of these. So here you can hear, this one is also latching, and this is the kind of beat crush. It's on this mode called shape right now. Bypassed. And engaged. Switch to the next one. Bend. Pretty cool. And again, if we want to, we can just apply it to just the drums there if we wanted to. Or just the synth. Leave it on the drums. I kind of like it on the drums. And then now we'll switch it to the next mode. Chip, which is definitely a bit more lower bit rate sounding, but definitely a different sound, which is cool. Guess a little more chip tune like. This one's super bit reduced. You can kind of go between them. It's like a 4-stage sort of thing. See if the little shift action did anything here. It doesn't, but that's okay. So really it's just kind of like almost like a level of bit destruction, which is cool. All right, we'll go to the next effect. Actually, I'm gonna turn it off first. his distortion, and so I didn't want to surprise anybody. So let's see, with just a drive level, let's see, okay, push is the first tier of the distortion. Let's hear it. It's pretty cool. It really kind of muffles the, like, kind of trims off the high frequencies. Like right now it's just on the drums, and you hear that snare is really filtered down. Interesting. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Drive, we'll add it to the synth, or all channels really. Oops. Lower the level here a little bit. Don't get any clipping in the recording. Okay, so we'll go from drive to the next. Blow, which is a little bit like blown speakers, I guess. Kind of cool for effect. So you see I just did the send for the delay. Alright, we'll go from blow to destroy. It's pretty intense. Do it just on the drums, which is more likely probably how you'd use something like this. Not on the full mix, unless you just really are going for that nasty, distorted snarl. That's pretty cool. I like what it's doing to the tom sounds on the 606. Alright, put it back on the whole mix. Switch effects now. So we got a tremolo, and I believe the 0 to 99 is the depth. Let's try it out. It's on everything. I'll make it just on the digitone. Yeah. Pretty cool. Kind of a standard, trem effect, but gets the job done and will come in handy when the time comes. And that's it. Back to freeze. It's too fun not to mess with. Switch it just to the drums. You gotta catch something though. I don't know. I had to go for it. Okay, so that is a rundown of the TX-6 and its internal effects, both the send effects on FX1 and the insert effects on FX2, how they kind of work together and what your options are. I think they sound really good. I feel like it's really cool having all those effects built into a mixer, especially one as small and compact and portable as this. You could definitely just use this as an effect if you wanted to, if you weren't necessarily even needing to mix multiple channels. And I think that is really cool and says a lot to, I think, the quality and the attention to just what they decided to pack in here. We barely talked about it as a mixer, or really, you know, we utilized 2 of the 6 stereo channels or 12 mono channels, and well, pseudo mono. It splits the 12 or merges them down into 6 because you can split out each of the stereo into 2 monos. But that's for the next video. And I didn't even show you in this video. I will in the next one, but on each channel there is a 3-band EQ and a compressor, as well as a filter on each channel. And I thought I would add that into the mixer video because they're on each individual channel, which I think kind of lends itself to that discussion maybe a little bit more than this one. Definitely come back for that video if you're curious, and I'll give you my full rundown of this as a whole in that video. But I will say I really like this thing, just flat out. Like, it's super cool. It does a whole lot. I'm really impressed with it, and it's fascinating what they're able to cram into something as small as like a credit card. It's pretty insane, obviously thicker, you know, but still really impressive, and sounds great. And yeah, really cool. And I'm just like completely blown away by this little guy. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks so much as always, and I'll see you next time.